How's it going, everybody? First of all, I'd just like to reach out to Mike Mayock, our general manager. Our prayers are with Mike. He lost his dad over this weekend and been a tough time for the Mayock family. But just thinking about you, Mike, and all the Raider Nation is with you. But I'll answer any questions that I can.
Hey, John, this is Jerry. I know there's a lot of different factors that would go into this, and some of them probably can't control, but how do you go about making sure that a team is playing its best football in the last 4 or 5 games of the season?
Well, you have to obviously have a little bit of luck. You have to have your top players available. Obviously, you have to have intense preparation, the way you practice. You gotta be able to really prepare your team well. You got to be ready for just about anything, and cover some situations. You got to have a couple plays in your back pocket that maybe you haven't shown all year, a couple blitzes that you haven't shown all year. There's a lot of things that go into it, obviously, but getting your best players on the field, playing at their best, is a big part of it.
Hey, John, what are the primary areas of improvement that you all need to make overall as a team next season?
I think we can improve in every area. I know that sounds corny, but we have to improve in every area. Obviously, our short yardage offense, 3rd and 1, very disappointing. We're number 1 in the league on 3rd and 10. I think we're number 32 on 3rd and 1. Unbelievable. Defensively, we have to improve on all 3 levels. There's no question about that. We need some impact plays from our defense: sack, strip, fumbles, turnovers. We got to do a lot better job on the defensive side of the ball. And Carlson had a great year. Cole had a great year. But we need to score on special teams and generate better field position. But I think we can improve in a lot of areas. But we did do some good things this year.
John, Nick Morrow was talking about how accountability from players and coaches is something that needs to be improved on. Did you see that, and how do you go about addressing that?
Yeah, we have a lot of young players that they have to be available. Not only on Sunday or game day, they got to be available on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And some of the details, they got to be, they have to show up on tape. We have to be a much more detailed football team, and especially in some areas on defense. And that'll be a critical area that we try to improve here.
Hey, Coach, I just wanted to ask what your high point was this season as you look back on the first season here in Las Vegas and playing in a new stadium like Allegiant.
I think the high point for all of us was getting that first win on the road at Carolina, the first win in Las Vegas Raider history, and then getting our first home win against the New Orleans Saints. Getting those first signature Las Vegas Raider wins was really exciting. We had some high moments, obviously, winning on the road against some good teams. But I'm really, really excited about the mental toughness that this team showed. I think it's going to help us in the long run.
John, going back to the defense, obviously you made a coaching change earlier. Do you expect to go outside the building to look for a new defensive coordinator? Is there any timeline on that? And for Rod Marinelli's status, how would you assess that at the moment?
Well, we expect Rod to be a big part of this defense moving forward. I think he's as good as there is, really, on that side of the ball. He's proven that for a long time. And yes, we will begin our search tomorrow. We plan to move quickly, and we're excited about this process.
Hey, John, are you disappointed in the production from the free agents you guys signed this offseason? And what do you think happened?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be. Obviously, the injuries to Trent Brown, those are major problems, not getting him on the field. Tyrell Williams didn't play one game. Marcus got hurt, missed a couple months, really couldn't ever really compete. Joyner had the virus. Littleton had the virus. Kwiatkowski got hurt, had the virus. We saw Malik Collins get hurt. was disappointing. But at the same time, I compliment those guys for hanging in there and continuing to fight all the way to the end.
Coach, despite all those injuries to the defense that you mentioned, Max Crosby was a guy that played all 16 games and led the team in sacks. Would you say that Max's season, having a second great consecutive season, proves that he can be an anchor for the defense for years to come, in your opinion?
I don't think there's any doubt he can be a great player here. There's no doubt about that. He needs what all young players need, especially coming out of a smaller type college. He needs the weight room. He needs the off season. He needs a little bit of help, I think, in the strength and conditioning area, but he is a heck of a football player with a great motor, and we expect big things from him moving forward.
John, David Ornette started the game yesterday, not in the starting lineup. Then he had to come into the lineup again because of an injury, and then he had to go out again because he got hurt again. How would you assess his first season? And also, the not being able to stay on the field, was that a product of bad luck, or is there something that he could be doing better maybe in order to avoid some of the situations that he was in?
Are you talking about Damon Ornette?
Yes.
Yeah, he's got to pick it up. He's got to get stronger. He broke his wrist in training camp. It makes it hard to lift weights. Really makes it difficult. Missed some time with a concussion. Had the coronavirus. Availability, is a real concern right now. But he's got to get in the weight room with Max and a lot of these young defensive players, and he's got to prove that he can stay available during these games. But disappointing rookie season. Very talented young man, though. But we did not get all the things we expected from him, as for a lot of the reasons I just listed.
Hey, John, yesterday there was an interesting sideline kind of, I don't know, it was a confrontation or interesting between Noah Fant and Jim O'Neill, where Fant threw the ball at him, and you were right there. What did you see there, and how unusual, or should things like that happen more often, considering how close players are to the sidelines and coaches and things like that?
I just stay away from Noah Fant. He's a big guy. I try not to make the other team mad. But we don't like to have any confrontations with players, our players, their players, any players. But sometimes in the heat of the battle, things get said, or there's some misunderstanding on the sidelines. Guys get bumped into, and they take it personally. And there's a lot of emotion out there. I think that's what you saw yesterday. But I'm confident Jim O'Neill, Noah Fant are pros, and it'll end with that.
Hey, John, what's your biggest need personnel-wise?
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into all that. I think it's pretty obvious. We need to get some continuity in this secondary. We need time on task. We need Abram on the field Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We need him on the field Sunday all the time with Ornette, with Joyner, with Mullen, and we need to get these guys out there day after day after day. Obviously, we need to address our inside pass rush and our outside pass rush. We got to improve at all three levels, and that's something we'll start looking into here shortly.
Coach, we're talking about a lot of tasks you have coming up, a lot of things you have to work on. You have a new defensive coordinator, everything else you guys have to do. Do you have an off season? Is there plans to have any time off?
Yeah, we're going to give our coaches some time off, and our goal is not 8-8. Our goal is to win a championship, and you shouldn't go on a cruise or go on a vacation when you're 8-8. We got to take a good look at how we can close the gap. We feel like we did to a degree with the best teams in the league, but we're not there yet. And we got to work hard. And we're going to volley the ball to Mike Mayock and his staff right now, and they're going to give our coaches, and me included, some direction in terms of who's available in this year's draft. We'll learn a little bit about which college all-star game is going to happen. We'll learn a little bit about when the combine is, if there's a combine. There's still a lot of pending situations, but there's not a lot of time to rest when you're 8-8. We've got work to do.
Hey, John, it's been reported that Josh Jacobs was in a car accident early this morning. Do you have any update on his status and how he's doing?
We're just aware of it. We'll say that Josh is okay, and I'm not at liberty to comment on it until I get more facts. But We do have word that Josh is okay, and we are looking into the matter.
2 more questions. We'll go Anthony, then Jerry.
Hi, Coach Anthony from Fresno B. What characteristics are you looking for in your next defensive coordinator?
I think number one, great communication, a guy that can develop players, a man that will utilize his assistant coaches and allow them to express themselves and get more out of their units, and a guy that has a history of success, a guy that has a great day-to-day work ethic and knowledge of the offenses that he has to stop, somebody that can really adapt to Lamar Jackson and the style of offense they play to the next week where you got to get ready for Pat Mahomes, and then it's on to Phillip Rivers. There's a lot of different variables that you have to deal with and adapt to. People, person, great drive, and a real desire to be a Raider. I think there's a lot of criteria, but there's some for you.
Hey, John, I don't know if this is a big deal or not, but are you hardwired into whether you want a 4-3 or a 3-4 as your base, or is that overrated? And the second part is, we had a pretty candid conference call with Cory Littleton where he was pretty open about the season he had and the things that he didn't do that he wanted to do, and he was pretty upfront about it. I'm curious what you think about him going forward after this year.
Yeah, we really like him. I think the greatness in Littleton has yet to be seen as a Raider. I think he's got an every down linebacking skill set. I think he can be a leader of our defense. I think he can be a centerpiece here. But to answer your question, we would like to be a 4-3 outfit. Don't get me wrong, we'd like to have some 3-down elements and be multiple, but we want to play 4 bigs if we can.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Thank you, everyone.
All right, you guys, have a great day.